I was assigned to pick up Admiral Hayes at the civilian arrivals terminal. Standing in my formal dress uniform, I prepared myself for the usual military protocol. Escorting one of the most decorated admirals in naval history was not a duty where mistakes were acceptable. Then he arrived. The tall, silver-haired commander walked toward me, his medals shining beneath the terminal lights. When he reached out to shake my hand, his sleeve moved slightly. I froze. Just above his left wrist was a faded blue tattoo, a vintage sailor's compass with its needle pointing toward the Big Dipper. I knew that my mother had the exact same one. Same location. Same design. Same faded blue ink. Before I could stop myself, I broke protocol. "Sir," I whispered, "my mother has a tattoo just like yours." The Admiral suddenly went still. His hand trembled. His eyes filled with tears. Then I said the name that changed everything. "Evelyn Sullivan." The color disappeared from his face. My name is Wren Sullivan, and I had spent my entire military career following orders and maintaining discipline. But in that moment I forgot every rule I had ever learned. My mother had always kept her past hidden. Whenever I asked about her years in the service, she changed the subject. She never explained the compass tattoo or the old navigation compass she kept locked inside a cedar chest. But Admiral Hayes knew something. And judging by his reaction, it was something enormous. During the drive to the naval base, the silence inside the vehicle was almost unbearable. Finally the Admiral spoke. "Where is she, Wren?" Hearing him use my first name instead of my rank caught me off guard. "She lives in Oregon, sir. In a small coastal town." "Is she healthy? Is she safe?" "Yes, sir." He stared out the window for several seconds before speaking again. "Change of plans. Don't take me to the main command suite. Use the back entrance and take me to the secondary briefing wing." My pulse quickened. Whatever connected my mother to Admiral Hayes was about to be revealed. We entered a private conference room away from the busy headquarters. Hayes closed the door and ordered complete secrecy. "Sit down, Wren." I sat across from him. "Sir, if this is about my mother." "Everything is about your mother." His voice was quiet but filled with emotion. I finally asked the question that had haunted me for years. When I was young, whenever Mom was upset, she'd sit outside and stare at the Big Dipper. She always told me that even when a sailor is lost in darkness, the stars can guide them home. She would touch that tattoo every time she said it. Hayes lowered his eyes. Then he opened his leather briefcase and removed an old, salt-stained service journal. He placed it in front of me. I opened it and stopped breathing. The pages were filled with navigation charts, mission records, and technical drawings. The handwriting was unmistakable. It was my mother's. "Your mother wasn't part of an ordinary unit," Hayes said quietly. "Evelyn was the lead tactical specialist on a classified joint task force." I stared at him. "We served together," he continued. "Our missions were so classified that, officially, some of them never happened." He turned another page. In 1998, our team was sent on a secret extraction mission in the Persian Gulf. A reconnaissance unit had been trapped behind hostile lines. Evelyn and I were sent to bring them home. He paused. Then everything went wrong. Hayes rolled up his left sleeve, revealing the compass tattoo. Our radar was destroyed during a violent storm. We lost all digital navigation. We couldn't contact the fleet. We were completely cut off. He looked directly at me. "And that's when your mother did something I'll never forget." That night, my mother became the only reason our crew survived. With our navigation systems destroyed, she guided the entire vessel through dangerous mine-filled waters using nothing but a magnetic hand compass and the stars. She used the Big Dipper to find our position and lead us back to safety. 7 people survived that night. Admiral Hayes was one of them. "Before the mission," he continued, "we knew there was a real chance we wouldn't make it home. So Evelyn and I got matching tattoos at a small port in Bahrain." He touched the compass on his wrist. "It was our promise. No matter how dark things became or how far apart we were, we'd always find true north and make our way home." His expression darkened. But after the mission, everything changed. Within 2 days, a massive intelligence leak exposed the identities of their entire unit. Enemy operatives began hunting the team. "My mother was told she had to disappear," I said quietly. Hayes nodded. "She had just had you, Wren. Staying in the Navy would have put a target on your back." Command created a complete cover story to protect you both. Then tragedy struck. During the evacuation, one of the transport vessels went down off the coast. Naval intelligence reported no survivors. He looked at me. Your mother was officially declared lost at sea. I couldn't speak. For 22 years, Hayes had believed the woman who once saved his life was dead. He had carried that guilt through every promotion, every command, and every medal. But now everything made sense. My mother had raised me quietly and moved us from place to place. She never wanted our names in newspapers. She paid in cash and kept our documents locked away. She hadn't been paranoid. She had been protecting me. Hayes lowered his head. Her survival file was buried under the highest level of classification. Even after the threat disappeared, no one reopened it. They had already declared her dead, and admitting the truth would have exposed one of the Navy's biggest secrets. His voice broke. They let her become a ghost. I reached beneath my collar and pulled out the silver chain I'd worn since boot camp. Attached to it was my mother's old naval compass pendant, engraved with coordinates and an anchor. I placed it on the table. Hayes stared at it. The pendant matched a brass seal on his briefcase perfectly. Even the serial numbers were identical. His eyes filled with tears. She kept it, he whispered. Then he reached for the secure telephone. He entered his authorization code and dialed the Oregon number I'd given him. After 4 rings, a familiar voice answered. Hello. Hayes closed his eyes. Navigator, he whispered. This is the commander. Do you still have a fix on True North? There was silence. Then my mother's trembling voice came through the speaker. Thomas? Is that really you? It's me, Evelyn. His voice cracked. Your daughter is sitting right here. She saw the compass. My mother began to cry. When Wren joined the Navy, I prayed every day that she'd be safe, she said. But I couldn't contact you. The danger was still too real. And by the time things became safe, you were already deep inside the Pentagon. She paused. I couldn't risk bringing my past into your life or putting Wren in danger. Staying silent was the only way I could protect my daughter. Hayes straightened. That ends today, Evelyn. His voice carried the authority of an admiral again. Your records are being restored. Your service will be recognized, your honors returned, and everything that was taken from you will be corrected. 1 month later, my mother stood inside a private naval ceremony wearing her service uniform for the first time in more than 20 years. Admiral Hayes stood before her with tears in his eyes. He formally restored her military record, veteran status, benefits, and honors. Then he presented her with the Distinguished Service Cross. I stood between my mother and the admiral, watching history finally correct itself. That day I understood something I'd never fully realized before. Military service isn't only about the missions written into history. Sometimes the greatest sacrifices are the ones no one ever knows about. And the matching compass tattoos on my mother's and Admiral Hayes's wrists were no longer reminders of a painful past. They were proof that true loyalty can survive even decades of silence, and that those who serve together can always find their way home.